What's going on, guys? Greek Freak here, and in this video we're going to be talking about the news that Paul James Harden feuding after, of course, the loss to the Golden State Warriors, and once again falling to them after having, of course, the opportunity with Kevin Durant going down in that series. So as far as that, we do know where the frustration can easily come from, but of course it has been going on even longer than we would ever expect. Now, of course, you would expect some type of situation to this, but of course something like this is a big concern, especially considering the fact this is not the first time Chris Paul has had a feud with a former superstar. Now, with that, the Rockets also had announced the fact that they would be looking to make any moves possible to make them get better, which involves being open to every person being available for trade. I imagine the fact that that would be an exception to James Harden. I don't see them trying to move James Harden at any point. But not only with that, the difficulty of moving a player like Chris Paul would be very complex due to his contract situation. Now, as far as a player that they are really looking into maybe moving would be Clint Capella, as he was a no-show against the Golden State Warriors after, of course, announcing that he would want to see them. And of course, we all know where the main situation of where Chris Paul's frustration would come from, with James Harden having the highest usage rate percentage, meaning the ball being in his hands at over 40%, and the closest player to that only at 33%, obviously shows a disparity whenever you're talking about two players that were ball dominant going into these seasons. Now, with this, we know the fact that there's been much drama around this team, not only just from the players, but even the coaching staff, as they have yet to look at extending Mike D'Antoni, who's on his final year. Now, of course, right here you can see Chris Paul's salaries when it comes to what he will be making, and this is the reason why this contract is very difficult to move by any means. Now, could you move it? Possibly, but there's no way you can make a move here with this contract that would make your team better, I would not say. You're going to need a lot to come out of that. You're going to need a team that particularly would want a player in Chris Paul, who's right now 34, going to go on to 35 years old, and having him all the way down to when he's 38 years old. So with his injury past, I don't see a team really wanting to trade. So I think if there's a trade to come, it will be Clint Capella. And as I mentioned, there are talks between the Rockets and the Celtics for that. I'm not sure directly what they could possibly really make out of that. But as far as the situation there, I think the fact that that would only happen if something would happen with maybe Al Horford maybe not re-signing or anything like that. But as far as that, I don't see them trading a major piece or getting that much more better from this. So I honestly think the best situation that the Rockets can have is to stay together and try to work things out in this situation. But of course, whenever you're having a player like this feuding with each other, you're obviously going to have to choose your younger star over the older aging players such as Chris Paul. You're going to have to go with James Harden, who has been able to perform during the regular season, and hope the fact that he can perform in this next upcoming playoffs. You're still one of the playoff favorites, I would have to say, if you even maintain this team, as we saw the fact that they've been able to very much compete with many teams. But of course, one thing is that Chris Paul contract, they are very much going back and reviewing as far as whether or not they should have done that. I always sat there and said, I think the fact that this was a big mistake. When I made the video when Chris Paul was traded, I told you that the Clippers actually won that trade. They ended up getting a lot of pieces out of Houston in a situation of just a simple sign and trade, which is why I don't think sign and trades are very efficient whenever it comes down to it. You usually just want to take, I guess, the pay cut in order to go to the team. But in this situation, Chris Paul, in order to get there, they had to make a sign and trade in order just to fit him in the salary cap. But in a situation like this, I thought it was going to be very difficult to get two ball dominant players. They definitely, to me, worked it out better than I ever would have imagined them working it out together. But in a situation like this, I think that they've hit basically their ceiling. I don't see this team being able to really elevate above this in this case. So when you think about it, I think the fact that the Rockets are in a situation that's very tough to get out of and many other things. So definitely look for moves of the Rockets in this entire NBA as far as this offseason, or maybe even halfway through the season. I definitely could see them trying to make some moves, trying to improve this team, but I'm not sure what major trades that they could make. But guys, tell me what your guys' thoughts are. Do you think of any moves that the Rockets could really make to improve this team? And do you think the fact that they should keep Chris Paul and James Harden together? If you guys do, tell me in the comments below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure that you guys leave a like and subscribe to become part of the Greek Army today. And as always, this is Sparta.